Hey folks, how you doing? Welcome. Initially, I was going to go through this because it's so in depth. I wanted to take my time with it, but circumstances and my health has brought me to this particular approach, which is simply making this PDF available to you. So I'm going to briefly go over what's here, and then I'm going to offer it up through my email, which I will provide that within the link. And if there is enough people that want this and they would like for me to post it on my website so they can have access to it there and be able to read it there, you have to let me know. Okay. So, anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and go through this briefly. This is the second technique. This PDF is going to include technique 3, 4, and 5, the description and how to go about doing those. I am not going to go through those. Again, if you wish to have this PDF, it covers it, and the previous two steps for the Cathar Healing Level 1, when you combine those together, you have the whole package. Okay? So, that being said, I'm going to go ahead and begin here and briefly go through this. One of the most important things to understand is that when we're dealing with frequency, we're dealing with current. So think of this system, this construct, this design, this multidimensional universal structure as being a circuit, like electronic circuit. Okay? This is important to understand this. When you do understand this and you can simplify it in respect to a simple circuit, it allows you to be able to make a better connection mentally. Therefore, it allows you to be able to visualize and see the simplicity of this complex, because it is complex. But again, it's about seeing things simple because you need to make the connection. When you make the connection through a simple means of understanding, you are better off in the process. Okay? So, grounding is an important element in running frequency currents, right? Just like a basic circuit, you have to have a ground. So, currents need to ground fully into our bodies, okay? Into the 3D and even into the earth to be fully effective before they can be completely able to return the cycle to the source. Again, thinking of this as a circuit, right? Electricity, for an example, that's what we're talking about here. Electricity is only effective where the currents can flow from a source completely within a circuit and then return directly to its source, right? A break anywhere in the circuit, a switch that is open, an open circuit, stops the current and nothing happens. Okay? Here's an example of that. A simple, basic current, opening and closing. Okay? Allowing for current to flow and then stopping the current from flowing. Right? So these techniques is about allowing the current to flow properly. Okay? So again, emphasizing being grounded and thinking of this as a circuit. And that little example there that you've seen with that simple circuit, think of it in that way. Okay? In the beginning, it's really important just to think of it in that way. All right? Okay. So within this PDF, we're going to go through which is called the planetary biofeed interface system, that picture that you've seen in the beginning. So Again, I'm not going to go through all this. I'm just going to show you what's here, all right? And touch in on a few things, and that's it. I'm just not up to speed to be doing all this. This requires a lot of energy, and I just don't have a whole lot of it these days. Okay. Goes to explain, it explains the Maharic seal as far as within the process of bioregenesis, what it does, you know. Explaining the crystal seals. Now, just for reference sake, again, the crystal seals and the star crystal seals, okay, before we get into the Maharic seal here. The crystal seals and the star crystals, or the seed crystal seals and the star crystal seals. The star crystal seals are these, for a lack of terms, I'm going to use the word valve, all right? Thinking of it in the terms of current in a circuit, you can think of it as being a regulator, allowing a certain amount of current to flow through it. It's balancing it so that you don't get too much and you just get the right amount. And that's what it does. It regulates it, okay? And then within the vortices, which is known as being the chakras, with the chakra is what? What is a chakra? It's a vortice, really. You have a magnetic and you have electrical vortice, each a counter-rotating vortice. What does that sound like? It sounds like exactly like a Merkaba, okay? When you look at DNA, that's the way it looks because it has a magnetic base and it has electrical acceleration code to it. So you have these counter-rotating fields, right? So within the chakra or that vortice, in the center of that, in the very center of it, you have what is called the star crystal seeds, all right? And they do it exactly the same thing. They're regulating the current flow from the magnetism that is occurring and the electrical acceleration that's occurring. So it, balances the ratio according to the original design. When everything is working correctly, that's what's going on, okay? So these techniques are intended to be used in order to be able to clear, in order for that current to flow in a regular or in the natural order design. Okay. I'm having a hard time today, folks, so I'm just kind of moving my way through this. So now for the Maharic seal, you can use the, as you can see here, the six-pointed Pell silver star, the Hierophant. If the Ekasha, because you can use the Ekasha symbol, but the Ekasha symbol is pretty detailed, okay? And right here you can see it's in black and white. And if you use the Ekasha code symbol, which is the God seed code symbol, you need to be able to see it in its color, okay? But it's not essential. It really isn't. And using as you can see, the star, the Hierophant, as you can see, it's a Merkaba. Okay, so any of this stuff works. All right, it's really that simple. If you once you get it to where it works for you, then it doesn't really matter. You can just imagine, just intend it to be there, and you can make it happen quickly once you get used to the process. So you have to read all through all this. My recommendation is to read through it and not do the techniques. Just read through it. Get very familiar with it, and take your time. There's no hurry, Take your time, read, understand it, and just, go through it. And then once you're familiar with it, you feel comfortable with it, then go ahead and begin to practice the technique, okay? But it's more important for you to understand it and become familiar with it. And then you can kind of tailor make it to your own, right? So you'll know what works for you, okay? Just take the basics of what's here and realize it's important to breathe in, and that is to inhale and exhale in the process, okay? All these different things, all right? And yeah, it's self-explanatory. As you can see, there's been a bit of work that's been involved with this here. Now, there was other stuff explaining this. I redid the whole thing, because I didn't want any copyright, and I reworded certain things just to make it simpler. Okay, in some cases, at least that's what I tried to do, anyhow. Um, all right, so as you can see, all right, that's the Maharic seal right there. All right. All right, so it goes through that, and also in the technique number 3. All right, goes through that, and technique number 4, technique number 5. Number 4 and number 5 is meant to be used with facilitation, meaning having some other people come in to assist with this, which I don't really recommend. Okay, I think that if you can't do it by yourself, it really, let's just say, you're better off if you can do it by yourself. All right. So if you can conform these other techniques here to fit into you applying them directly to yourself, then do that. So I just included them for that reason. Anyhow, okay, folks, I'm done. Again, if you want this to be posted in the Freedom Teachings group, and if you want it to be posted on my website along with the other two Cathara Level 1 techniques, then just ask me. If not, you can find the other two on my website, and all you have to do, because my email is going to be provided within, normally I'll have people go to my website to get my email, which I prefer you to do, actually. I don't necessarily like to provide it here because, for the obvious reasons, but I'll go ahead and provide it in the link, in the description, so you can email me and say, could you send this to me? And I will, but I actually need to post it, but I'm just really wiped out and tired here, and everything is a lot of work for me these days. So unless somebody asks for me to post it on my website, I'm not going to do it. I could upload it to the group, but then you have to become a member of the group in order to get access to it, and some people don't want to do that, which is fine. Anyhow, so let me know. All right. Thanks, folks.